How to create an internal exam season in Exams Assist. Creating an internal season in Exams Assist is a very quick and simple process. This video will give you the tools to help with this. To create a new season, navigate to the Overview tab, select Actions, then add New Exam Season. Enter a name for the season. For this example, we will create a Year 10 internal exam season. Following this, enter the start and end date for these exams. For this example, we will select the first week of July. Remember, all exams must sit within these 2 dates. However, these dates can be amended later. As the timetable will be built in Exams Assist, there is no need to upload a statement of entry file. Once the dates have been submitted, the Edit Season dialog box will appear. There are a few important options that need to be selected before building the season. In the Details tab, ensure that the center number is populated. Next, select that the candidate seating is to be done in Exams Assist, and that the season type is a mock. All other information is not relevant for an internal season. Navigate to the Invigilator tab. The important details here are the Invigilator availability sessions. The times entered here will be the times used when creating the timetable. For this example, we will select that there are 3 different starting times. The first session will be starting at 9:30, so 9:30 will be entered into the AM start. The next session will be 10:30, so 10:30 will be entered into mid-morning, and the final session of the day will be 1 p.m., so 1 p.m. will be entered into PM start. All other configuration in this tab can be confirmed later. Navigate to the Portal tab. Ensure whilst the timetable is being created, that the Published to the Parents and Students portal is deselected. Once the school are happy with the timetable, this can then be selected. Once selected, this will allow the candidates and parents to view their timetables on their portals. This will also allow the timetable to be viewed on the school's website. How to add the candidates to the season. To add the candidate to the season, navigate to the Candidates tab, select Actions, then add a group of candidates. As this is a Year 10 exam season, we will select the Year 10 year group. Once selected, all candidates will be added to the season. As we are managing the access arrangements in Exams Assist, all their arrangements will also be added to the season. This information will be populated from the Access Arrangements module. Any room allocations for a candidate will also show here too. Before creating the timetable, it may be worth checking that all access arrangements are correct and any candidates that need to be allocated to a different room has been done. If a candidate needs to be allocated to a room, simply select the candidate, then click on Assign Candidate to the room. If the access arrangements need amending, navigate to the Access Arrangements tab, then select Edit Access Arrangements. If a candidate does not have an exam number assigned to them, Exams Assist will create a temporary one starting with the letter T. Creating the timetable. Once the season has been created, the session times entered and the candidates added to the season, the school will be ready to build the timetable. To create these, navigate to the Timetable and Seating tab and select Add Exam, Oral or Practical. There are 2 options available. Add Exam or Add Exams for a subject. The Add Exam option will allow the exam officers to create 1 exam at a time, while the Add Exams for a subject option will allow the exams officers to create several exams at once. For this video we will focus on creating exams by subject. Adding exams for a subject. Creating exams by subject is the quickest way of creating internal exams, as the exams will be created based on the teaching sets within the school's MIS system. For this example, we will create a few different exams. These will be either core subjects or option groups. We will now create the exams for the different options: Geography, History, and Music. These exams will be taking place during the same time as when they have a double lesson. To create these, select Add Exam by Subject. The type will be an exam, and the duration will be 1 hour and 30 minutes. We will use this as it's the average length. The others can be amended when the exams are being created. For geography, as these are happening during their options lessons, we will need to select 3 exams for this subject. 1 exam per option. It is best to do them together, but amend the component code, so they are all the same. GEO1. For history, select 2 exams as there are 2 different options group, and finally for music select 1 as there is only 1 option group. Let's firstly build the timetable for the 3 geography option blocks. You will notice that Exams Assist will create 3 different geography exams. Each exam will have a unique component code and name, but we will amend these. The component code needs to be the same as each candidate will be sitting the same paper but at different time. If each option was sitting a different paper, then the component code could then be different. Navigate to the first geography exam. We will keep the component as GEO1, but we will amend the component name to read Geography Option A. Next, select the date and time. We will select Monday, 7th of July at 9:30 a.m., as we previously set the duration to be 1 hour and 30 minutes, this is correct. Select the room for this exam, followed by the teaching set. In this example we will select Option A. Repeat this process for the second and third exam, remembering to ensure that the 3 component code needs to be GEO1 and then add the option to each component name. The second option group according to the timetable will be on the Tuesday, 8th of July at 10:30 a.m., then finally Option C, these are timetabled for Wednesday the 9th of July at 10:30 a.m. Scroll down and repeat the process for history. Here you will find 2 exams, one for Option B and the other for Option C. Enter the date and time for Option B, which is Tuesday, 8th of July at 10:30, however, this exam is 2 hours long, so we will need to amend the duration to 2 hours. Select the room and then finally Option B. Option C will be having their exam on Thursday 10th of July at 10:30, the duration will need to be amended to 2 hours. Finally, enter the details for music. As there is only 1 option group for music, you will only need to provide the details for Option A. This exam will be taking place on Monday 7th of July, the duration will need to be amended to 1 hour, and the location will be the music room, as this exam will require audio to be played. Once all the details have been entered, take a quick look at them to ensure that all information is correct, then select Submit. Once the information is submitted, Exams Assist will now build the timetable. As these exams are built on option groups, there should not be any clashes. If there are any clashes, these would be identifiable by red flags. Once the exam timetable has been created, the timetable and seating tab will be populated. The first tab will list the exams by date, while the second tab will list them by exam. Any candidates that have been identified as requiring to be in a different room within the Candidates tab will have been allocated to that room. This will be visible in the Timetable and Seating tab. The candidates are now ready to be seated in each room. For this example, we will just select the Assign Seat button. Creating exams by cohort. If there is a need to create an exam such as English language for the whole cohort, but as the school halls are not able to handle large numbers, then there may be a need to split the cohort in half. One half of the cohort to be seated in one room and then the other half in another room. Navigate to the Timetable and Seating tab and select Add Exam by Subject. Once selected, select Create 2 exams for English Language Unit 1. As the exam will be taking place at the same date and time, the component code and name can be the same. So, we will change the second option from 2 to 1. Then we will select the same date and time for both exams, which is Monday the 7th of July at 1 p.m. The duration will be 2 hours. The first half of the cohort will be assigned to the East Wing, and the second half will be assigned to the West Wing. Once the first exam has been created and the candidates seated, we can duplicate this for Unit 2, which will take place on the Friday. To duplicate the exam, edit the first English Unit 1 exam. Then select Actions, More Actions, and then Duplicate Exam. Enter a new unique component number and name. We will enter ENG2 and English Unit 2. Enter the date and time for the exam. We will enter Friday 11th of July at 1 p.m. and the duration will be 2 hours. Once saved, all rooms and seating will be duplicated. Creating exams by lesson time. To create an exam from using the lesson structure, for this example, we will create a drama practical. This will start at lesson 1, then continue for the rest of the day. Select Add Exam by Subject, change the exam type to Practical. When Practical is selected, all candidates will be assigned to the same room, they will not be roomed in a different room. Change the duration to 5 hours and select one exam for drama. Navigate to the bottom of the pop-up and select Use Lesson Times. When you select the date and time for this exam, the times that now appear by the dates will be the school's lesson structure. We will select Wednesday, 9th of July at 9:15, which is lesson 1. The duration will remain as 5 hours. We will assign the candidates to the drama studio. How to create a tiered exams. To create a tiered exam for a subject such as maths, the classroom teachers will firstly need to assign the candidates to the appropriate level, foundation, intermediate, or higher. Allocating levels. Members of the teaching staff from their homepage will need to navigate to the Groups tab. Here the teacher will see the classes that are assigned to them from the MIS. Select the maths class that you need to assign levels to. Once selected, select Members. Then Actions, Levels. Staff member will be able to select the following from the drop-down menu: either None, Foundation, Intermediate, Higher or Mixed. If the whole class are working at intermediate level, simply select this option and all pupils will be assigned as this. However, if there is a mixture of ability in the class, then select Mixed. This will allow the staff member to select the appropriate level per pupils. The staff member will go through the list and assign the appropriate level. Once completed, select Submit to save the levels. When the maths exams are created by the exams officer, the candidates will be assigned to these levels. To create the exam, simply navigate to the Timetable and Seating tab. Select Add Exam by Subject. Once selected, select Exam as the exam type, change the duration to 2 hours, then finally select one exam for maths. Then enter the details for the exam. Firstly, select the date and time. This is Tuesday, 8th of July at 1 p.m. The duration of the exam is 2 hours, then select all classes. You will notice that each class will have the allocated tier in brackets. If there isn't enough room to assign all the candidates to the same room, it's best not to select a room. If there is a room large enough to accommodate the whole cohort, then select a room. Once the exam has been created, the candidates will be assigned to each tier: Foundation, Intermediate, or Higher. Any candidates that are assigned to a room from the Candidates tab will automatically be assigned. For this example, we will assign the Higher and Intermediate candidates to the East Wing and the Foundation candidates to the West Wing Performance Hall. Once allocated to the room, we will select the assigned seat. Managing the scheduler. Once the timetable has been created and each exam roomed, these rooms will appear in the Schedule tab, ready for the exams officer to assign staff to each room. Managing the Access Arrangement tab. Once the timetable has been created, the Access Arrangement tab will start to get populated with the candidates and their arrangements. The relevant staff member will need to go through each tab indicating if the candidate requires each of the arrangements for their exam.